Heyo, I'm Colby from Sanitarian Productions. We're back again today with another G.I. Joe toy review for y'all. Today we're looking at the Retaliation release of Snake Eyes. Another Snake Eyes figure. I'm actually starting to get a little tired of Snake Eyes. I didn't think I was ever going to say that, but anyways, we have a really cool looking figure here with a crazy zipline feature that we're going to review. So, I don't know. This may turn out okay in the end, so I'm not holding a lot of high hopes on this one, though, to be honest with you. But, again, it is Snake Eyes, so it should be halfway decent looking. Stick with us and we'll find out. Retaliation Snake Eyes. The working zip line for sky-high battle action. Again, this comes in the traditional Retaliation packaging, so nothing too outstanding here to talk about. It works for what it is. The back of it shows a couple of battle poses and a couple of the additional figures you can get. Working zip line with 5 feet of string. Wings fire missiles. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and see what it's all about. As I stated before, I don't really have a whole lot of high hopes for this particular figure. I think I'm finally starting to get burnt out on Snake Eyes figures is what it amounts to. But I'm going to give it a shot and see if it exceeds expectations, and right now expectations are actually low, but I don't know. After seeing the Storm Shadow figure from this line, this might work out. So we have the traditional instruction sheet for these figures, which is pretty cool looking. It looks very similar to the one that came with Storm Shadow, at least from here down. Again, I'll try to get a close-up scan of this for y'all to see it, but yeah. Missile launcher, vest pulley, attached zipline anchors, and then the zipline. So yeah, kind of cool looking. Packaging wise, there's nothing else in here, so it's all recycling material now. And we have the figure itself. Start by just yanking out the zip line itself. And just the first thing that strikes me is just the fact that this is essentially the same anchor missile point system as Storm Shadow had, except this one's in the blue color instead of red, which is fairly smart on the part of Hasbro. Anytime you can reuse parts molds brings your cost down. And it makes sense with this particular figure since it is the polar opposite of Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, and that's kind of cool. He has this vest here, which is an interesting looking contraption here. It does have the Ninja Clan symbol here on the front. And we'll zoom in here in a minute and take a look at this. And it's got that same weird mechanism on the back for attaching it to the actual zip line. So yeah, that's interesting looking anyways. We've got these 2 wing points with missile tips and an articulating wing joint. So that's kind of cool. And the second wing here. And then Snake Eyes himself. Let's get him out of the package. Then nothing left but the blister. And so I noticed this stuff on the Storm Shadow, but I didn't point it out. They got kind of sloppy with the paint on all this stuff, and there's like red paint coming off the back of it. Guess that's just where they had it in the packaging, and it just got stuck on the back or something. I don't really know, but we've got a cool Snake Eyes sword and this weird pistol thing. So yeah, here's all the accessories that come in this set. We'll go ahead and zoom in closer now and take a better look. I'm going to go ahead and start out by taking a look at the crazy zipline feature on this one, and we're going to go ahead and assemble this vest harness contraption and see where we go from there. So the wing joints themselves have a little bit of detail in them, but not a lot. They do have a hinge joint here on the side, and the tips are actually missiles. So you just feed that in there until it clicks. Then on the top side, on the back next to the handle here, you've actually got the firing mechanism button. So you just press down on it, and these things shoot out, and they shoot pretty good actually. Got quite a bit of a spring in them, so that's kind of cool. There's a little handle there for him to hold on to, I'm assuming. Just take a look at the other one real quick just to make sure it is pretty much the same way. The crazy missile. And then the button's in the same place. And it fires as well, so that's cool. And the hinge joint there as well. And hopefully you do have two different ones and not two of the same. I don't see any left-right markings or anything on this, so yeah, no particular markings on here, so no easy way to identify them, but that's fine. The vest itself, again, it's not got a lot of detail work, but they do have a couple of nice little ventilation points in a couple of spots here. They also do have the Ninja Clan symbol painted on the front, which is pretty cool looking. And you've got these straps at the bottom, and they just pop off like so. And you've got the traditional peg for the backpack itself. And then these straps are actually pretty soft, but they grip really well. Then the actual anchor points that these things fit into, it's made of that really soft rubber plastic as well, so you're not going to break them. You may tear them at some point, but they're at least not going to break, which is a good thing, so you don't have to worry so much about it. So if we'll rotate this around, this is that crazy zipline attachment point. What you're supposed to do is take your string and just kind of wrap it in here like that and yank on it, and it fits in there like so. And if you need to, you can always pull it back out pretty easily as well. That is a semi-rigid plastic, so no big problem there. As far as attaching the wings go, if you'll orient it with the top, we'll call this the piece that, well, let's do it this way. The bottom is the piece that has the straps on it, so that's the bottom. So turn that to the table, and this is the top at that point. Then we're going to take the wings And according to this, they go this way. So orientation wise, we have the hinge joints go to the inside, so they will go to facing the front end of the figure itself. So if the figure's here and he's facing that way, that's what you want these to face as well. Then the blades themselves, so if you look at this as like a blade, you want the angle to slope down. So this piece goes frontwards and this piece will slope down. Then all you got to do is just line up this peg here with the peg hole. Hold on to it and just press it in place, and it just kind of fits in there fairly easily, and it's got quite a range of motion in there, so you can move it around all you need to. It's not going to get in the way or anything. Same thing for the other side, just press that into the peg hole. And voila, you have it assembled. Then as we showed you before, this thing just, the string just fits into the back of this thing. And looking at the instructions, so we've got this missile piece that's also used as an anchor point. There's a place to put it to store it here, but it's not a missile like the other one is, so it doesn't fire off or anything like that. Out of curiosity, I'm going to see if it'll fit inside of this. It doesn't, so yeah, you can't actually use it as a missile. But that's okay. The strings themselves, as we showed before, just slip in here and just kind of pull on them real good to get it to go into that groove, like so. And then the zip line itself works like any other zip line. And there you go. Pretty straightforward. You can attach this to whatever you want, like your finger. These carabiners attach to about anything else you want that's small enough to hook them into. And that's pretty much it for the zip line. So yeah, there's the zip line. On to the figure itself. Accessory wise, we do have this single sword. It's all a solid piece of black. It's got some nice detail work on it, but it is pretty simple. Nothing much to it. We also have this single pistol, which again doesn't have a lot of detail work on it, but it does have some. And it looks pretty nice, even though it is in that weird blue color. Other than the zip line, that's the only two accessories you get. So now on to the figure. There is, again, they're leaning towards the minimalistic approach to these figures. Very streamlined looking. And it doesn't look bad, actually. You can see some of the detail work here in the costume. It does have some extra shoulder pads that are a slightly different color than the kind of granite color that he's got for the rest of his costume. His elbow pads are also that glossy black. Some nice detail work in his pants. And his knee pads are also that glossy black color. And then his boots are a slightly different shade of that granite color. And they do have some nice detail work in his boots there. I don't know how well you can see that, but it does look pretty nice. The head sculpt is pretty much what we've come to expect for a Snake Eyes figure. even if it does look a little narrow. This is actually the first time, and I don't know how well this is going to pick up, but if you'll look right here at the top of his head, they've kind of made it look like more of a bunched cloth material here instead of the traditionally smooth thing. So they've got some wrinkles and folds going on in there, which is a little weird to me, but it works, I guess. And the black visor is, again, the slightly glossy black color to make it stand out from this granite gray color for the rest of his mask. So that's pretty nice. Articulation wise, the head does move 360 degrees and does go up and down as well. Traditional ball and swivel joint at the shoulders, ball and swivel at the elbows, swivel and rocker at the wrist. So yay for the extra articulation. The rib cage, we do have the twist feature there, and the ab rock feature is present as well, and you get a pretty good range of motion. Traditional T-hook at the waist, double knee joints, and he's got that crazy swivelly rocker combo thing at the ankle. So yes, the ankle goes all over the place there. So quite a bit of posability on this figure. I do appreciate the fact that they did continue the extra articulation on these figures. We weren't so lucky with the entire Retaliation line, so when they do show up, it's nice. And so yeah, this figure actually looks pretty good, and it works pretty well as a Snake Eyes figure, to be honest with you. His sword fits in his hand pretty easily and securely without any prompting or shifting or anything. The pistol, again, has this crazy handle that I'm not really fond of, but it actually fits in his hand really easily, so that is cool. I do appreciate that. I've not always been that lucky with these crazy handled figure or weapons, so I appreciate the fact that it works here. The blue is a little garish and stands out a little bit more than I would like, but you can always swap that out with another weapon if you want from some other figure. And unfortunately, he doesn't really have a sheath for his sword, so there's nowhere to store it. But that's okay. So all in all, pretty cool looking figure. We'll go ahead and switch over now and pull in his crazy Zipline battle armor stuff and see how well that fits on him. I'm just going to pop these straps off. Fits over his head like so. And it does have that peg here in the back that just pegs into the peg hole. Fits very easily. Lift his arm up and you can reach these straps. And we'll flip that up there so we can see. It locks in place pretty easily. Same thing for the other side. Lock that strap in place. And yeah, you've got Snake Eyes all strapped in his crazy battle armor wing thing. And it really doesn't look too bad. It works. It's a little bit bulky, but not bad. The wing part of it, I'm not so sure about. Again, you can flip these wings over like this, and they actually look more like wings now. Then if you take his weapon out of his hand and try to rotate his arm around, he can kind of make it look like he's grabbing hold of those and flying. So yeah. Then the added feature is that you can take his sword and just kind of stick it back here and like that, and he's got an extra place to hold it. Doesn't fit really well, and it kind of doesn't fit in the back either, but you can make it work if you're really interested in it. So yeah, it works. Zipline's a little bit easier, I think, on this one than on Storm Shadow, in that it actually attaches to the figure. The pulley system works about the way you'd expect it to, so yeah. All in all, it's not a bad figure, to be honest with you. Again, I don't really have much use for the pulley. The figure itself, though, I would probably recommend picking it up. Again, I wasn't looking forward to another Snake Eyes figure, but this one actually works pretty well on its own merit. Very much a basic Snake Eyes, but the detail work is pretty good. So yeah, you might actually enjoy it. So should be able to pick it up pretty cheap, so yeah, go ahead. That's our review for the G.I. Joe Retaliation Snake Eyes figure with the Zipline. Overall, the figure actually worked a lot better than I thought it was going to, but it's still a little goofy, so I would probably say you can pass on this figure. You're not going to be missing much on it. That's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Check out some of our past videos. Stay tuned for some more amazing reviews coming down. Until next time, Yo Joe.